Namaste Seekers, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Nicolas Ulhich and today we will discuss Mesha Sankranti or the Solar Vedic New Year. If you're new to the channel, this is sidereal Vedic Astrology. It's very different from Western tropical astrology, so keep that in mind. What is the Solar Vedic New Year? Is when the sun is entering to the first zodiac sign, which is Aries, and it happens to be the sign of exaltation of the sun. And this is a very powerful moment of the year that it's extremely auspicious, is considered to be one of the best moments to initiate new things, for new beginnings, for new projects, and so on forth. However, during the month in which the sun is entering Aries, which is the 14th of April 2023, and it's leaving the sign of Aries on the 15th of May, all this period we are having one eclipse, which is the solar eclipse, then we are having the lunar eclipse, and Mercury retrograde. This is not all. Also, Jupiter is entering Aries, Mercury retrograde will be in Aries too. Mars and Mercury will be in Parivartana Yoga, which is an exchange of signs. Mercury is in the sign of Aries, ruled by Mars. Mars is in the sign of Gemini, ruled by Mercury. They are exchanging rulerships in between and working together, and becoming Mercury retrograde affects Mars, which is the controller of the sign where the eclipses and everything is taking place. We need to be very careful during this month with any new projects or anything new that we want to start. Take care of finances, investments, legal businesses, and whatever you need to handle that involves details, other people, partnerships, etc. Mesha Sankranti, which is the day in which the sun is entering to the sign of Aries, again the 14th of April, it's believed to bring blessings of prosperity, good fortune, and success for the incoming year. That's why we need to start this year as connected with nature, with the divine, and if it's possible, with the sacred rivers. If you don't have any sacred river close by to you because you don't live in India or in any other place where you feel that river is special to you, you can still go to the beach, take a bath on the ocean, on a lake, in any body of water close by, or just take a shower, take a bath early in the morning with the mentality of gratitude, surrendering to the divine without ego, without any kind of sense of controlling or these sun-related energies, and offering the sun to the divine. This is the worship of Surya, the god of the sun, and it's one of the most ancient practices in humankind, worshiping the sun. And it is believed in Vedic astrology as well that it will bring you a lot of blessings in general, but mostly professional, in your career, in your relationships, and in your health overall. The sun entering the sign of Aries is a 1 full year cycle that is starting in the first degree of Aries and is ending in the last degree of Pisces. In between the 12 zodiac signs and in between these 360 degrees, which is the zodiac wheel, we have a different division which is called the lunar mansions of nakshatras, which are 27 equal nakshatras. These nakshatras of the 27, the very first one is the one in Aries, where the sun is starting the solar Vedic New Year. Apart from that, each of the 27 nakshatras are divided into 4 equal portions called pada. And if you multiply the 4 padas of each nakshatra for the 27 nakshatras, you get 108 equal parts of the zodiac wheel. You know that 108 is a very special number for any into spirituality. And if you used to chant mantras, Shapa meditation, you are very, very used to the 108. The sun is entering on the 14th of April in the number 1 out of the 108 equal parts of the zodiac. This is extremely auspicious, and we need to set some particular intentions, so these intentions can be somehow impregnated, printed in the canvas of that day, and will accompany us throughout the year. Let me summarize what the sun transiting the 12 signs will bring to you throughout the year, so you can understand the importance of the entering in Aries, which is the very beginning. In Aries, the sun is going through the Aries is in exaltation. We are creating here the intentions, setting the intentions, the direction and the purpose that we want to pursue, that we want to achieve, the goals that we want to be successful at or in. Once we have this direction where we want to go and this purpose, the sun will move to Taurus, and in Taurus we will go to gather resources, information, contacts, and anything that we can use to go in the direction of Aries and be successful. Then the sun will go to Gemini, where we will try to connect the resources with the destination, with the purpose, with the goals. Now I know I have all these resources, contacts, and capacities and talents, and I want to reach this particular point or to create this particular project. How can I connect both so I am successful at doing so? In Gemini, the connections will be established. Then the sun enters to Cancer. In Cancer, we will sense, we will perceive through intuition what is actually working and what is not. We will nurture this process that is taking place through insights, through clarity, through readjusting, reaccommodating whatever is necessary to do so, and a newborn aspect or energy or perspective will be out there when the sun enters to its own sign, Leo. In Leo, all this direction with the particular resources, connections, insights, and nutrition will take a particular form that will be the form of your ego. The ego, which is not in this case the low vibrational aspect of your ego, but the high vibrational aspect of your ego, which is how can I accommodate myself, adapt myself in such a way that I am successful at what I want to be successful, in this case my purpose in life and the particular direction that I took at the beginning when the sun entered into Aries. In Leo, the ego starts to take form and it's able to produce quicker, easier, and more content results in that particular way or direction. Each ego, it's very fitting for each purpose, for each life, and perhaps your ego, it's very well for a creative person, and for another, the person needs to be a more rational ego, a more organized ego. So this is taking place in this aspect of the wheel. Then the sun is entering in Virgo when we are perfecting this ego and the subproducts of it, which are the resources, finances, money, income, connections, relationships, and the purpose itself. How can I make this work even better, more efficiently, more smoothly? Okay, that is taking place in Virgo. Your routine, schedule, way of eating, diets, everything is there in Virgo. Then the sun will enter Libra, which is the sign of debilitation of the sun. And something very interesting happened here. Life will bring to you different people mirroring you the aspects that you need to fix, improve, to better. If you have here two options, you're rather opposed to what you see in the mirror and you reject it, or you embrace it as part of you, as a reflection of you, and you start to work on that. Let's say in Libra, through the transit of the sun on Libra, you are accepting, embracing what you are seeing in the other people, in the people that life is sending in your way. In Scorpio, through the transit of the sun in Scorpio, you will transform those aspects of yourself, and new talents will arise from you, new capacities you will discover. And in Sagittarius, you will create or transform all that new you, that new perception of yourself, that new empowerment into wise and conscious action. But if in Libra you resist to what you see, you resist the image of yourself in the mirror of relationships, in Scorpio, this resistance will create suffering, sorrow. And in Sagittarius, you will go after particular and very fitting belief systems that can explain and justify why you are good and the other people are bad, and that's why you should maintain in the way you are. You should remain being the same, no changes at all, because you are perfect and everyone else is wrong. It's not the wisest path to take, but I mean, it will happen, and if that is the case, the next houses will bring different results. Then the sun enters to Capricorn. In Capricorn, all this new acquired wisdom and transformation that you undertook will be expressed through your profession and the influence and the impact you have on society and society on you. This is creating a sort of feedback that could be from your particular set of beliefs or could be from the things that you realize positively. Now you are putting that or giving that back to society, and you are receiving a recognition through your payments in your particular workplace. Then the sun goes to Aquarius, where all these things that you are doing in connection with others, whether you are doing home office or any other different type of work, let's say you are an influencer and you work by yourself, still the Aquarius sign and the transit of the sun through Aquarius is bringing you networking, new ideas, new connections, new forms of income that are based on the profession or job you are performing. That you are doing in Aquarius is creating new connections, new capacities, new possibilities that overall will improve the work you are doing, will bring more insight to that particular area. And then the sun goes to the last sign, which is Pisces, and it will create the capacity to impact even deeper to the world, to society, in such a way that you can give back the insights and wisdom that you achieved. However, if the process from Libra and on was rejecting, suffering, creating some sort of belief system to perceive yourself as a victim and everyone else is bad, but you are good and perfect, in Pisces, usually people go after self-losing. They try to avoid themselves, they try to lose their consciousness through alcohol, drugs, addictions, toxic relationships. So each sign it's creating this particular set of works that you need to take and to improve and to use to better yourself, but that is only preparing you for the next step, which is taking you to the next. And this is happening each year starting the 14th of April and then going to the next sign and ending on the 13th of April or 14th of April of the next year, because depending in which country you are, maybe one day or the other. Now that we know all of this, what will happen? Well, with the sun exalted in this particular place, it could bring, if it's not well located in your particular birth chart, that to know that you should book a consultation, a private reading, low self-confidence and lack of self-esteem, health issues related to the eyes, heart, and skin, struggles with authority and father figures, difficulty in achieving recognition and success, procrastination, and lack of motivation. A very good remedial measure for all of these could be, for example, to do postures that increase the fire element, such as plank, side plank, different combinations of planks, Chaturangasana, Virabhadrasana 1, 2, and 3, which is the warrior poses sequence, and all of these kind of things, like Navasana, Bhujangasana, whatever is working the third chakra, Manipura chakra, the fire element will help you a lot. Then if your sun is working better, is doing better, this will give you leadership qualities, creativity and artistic abilities. It will increase your mental and physical vitality, charisma and magnetism, and will provide you a very strong moral values and integrity. But because the sun is exalted and with Rahu, which is distorting and confusing sometimes the sun, this is a very difficult and dangerous time to be dishonest. If you are not a very righteous person, very moral, ethically correct person, the setback, the karma will hit hard, because the sun is very, very powerful, with Rahu enhancing the energy of the sun, potency through Jupiter as well. That is too much to go in the wrong direction, and too good if you go in the right direction, of course. Then when sun is connecting with Rahu in Aries, that is creating the solar eclipse. When is the new moon, there will be a solar eclipse, and this will affect significantly the sun. And wherever you have your sun in your natal chart, in any sign, nakshatra, pada, and house, that will be impacting you a little bit stronger there, as well in Aries sign. This will amplify the energy, because Rahu is considered a malefic planet, and its conjunction with the sun in Aries can amplify the energy of the sun. Whether this intensify the qualities for good or ill, but will bring a lot of extra leadership, self-expression, and ego. And more ego to the table could be very bad or very good. It depends your particular case, right? Self-expression, try to be aware of how you communicate with others, how you self-express to others, and how you interact with others. Make sure you are a good listener rather than a conferencist that try to take care of what other people are trying to communicate to you. And you may face some problems with authorities, your superiors, whether your teachers, your guru, your boss, or the government. So be patient in these areas, and always do the things properly. It doesn't matter what is happening, always do the right thing. Conflicting energies also can be created with these particular transits, potential challenges in managing one's ego, desires, and sense of self during this period. Sudden changes. Rahu is known for its unpredictable and sudden nature, and its conjunction with the sun in Aries can bring unexpected changes and upheavals in various areas of life, such as career, relationships, and health. It is very important to be prepared for sudden shifts and adapt accordingly during this period. Again, all the yoga postures, yogasanas that I mentioned, pranayama, meditation, trataka, contemplation of the flame of a candle. Then also it's a very particular and unique transformational opportunity. Despite the challenges, the conjunction of the Sun and Rahu in Aries can also present opportunities for growth, self-awareness, and spiritual evolution. It can serve as a catalyst for breaking free from illusions, gaining clarity, and finding a deeper sense of self beyond egoic attachments. This is very, very special, but very strong. This definitely is the most intense month of the year so far. Perhaps later on, doing some analysis, we find some other interesting combinations of the planets, but this eclipse will be definitely very strong. Then Mercury is going retrograde on the 21st of April, and it's leaving the retrogression motion on the 14th of May. And all of this is happening in Aries as well, where the solar eclipse is taking place, Sun with Rahu and then Jupiter together there. Be extra cautious, extra aware of whatever you are doing during this period. If it's possible, don't take any important big decision here. You can set intentions and goals on the Mesha Sankranti, which is the 14th of April. If you want to start new things after these dates, be very extra cautious, be very careful. Depending on your natal chart, of course, it could go one way or the other. If you are Aries rising sign, for you is taking place this transit of the Sun and the solar eclipse in the first house. So definitely is affecting your dharma, your path of life, is creating extra vitality, but also extra ego. So do not collapse with the ego of other people. The Sun is ruling your 5th house, the house of dharma as well, children, romance, investments, advice. So that area will be very active. And then the lunar eclipse, which is taking place the 5th of May, is falling on your 7th house, the house of partnerships, business partnerships, marriage life, profession, overall. So be aware of these areas. For Taurus rising sign, this is happening in the 12th house, the house of moksha, liberation, but also foreign lands, a foreign country, culture, people. And the eclipse and the transit of the Sun, the solar eclipse and the transit of the Sun, Jupiter, is taking place in the 12th house. So you may be moving to a foreign land or properly settling yourself there. Perhaps you are doing some paperwork for a visa, a passport, or something between those lines, or applying for a job abroad, or working by distance, but in a foreign country, or something related to foreign lands or people. Then the lunar eclipse is taking place in the 6th house, the house of work and the effort that you put at work, the organization, your routine, enemies, your health. So try to improve your routine, daily routine, your habits, and everything will be, of course, very well. The Sun is ruling your 4th house, the house of home, the house where you belong to, and connecting the 12th house with the 4th house. During this month, something is changing in your status as a citizen, wherever you are. Or you are starting a spiritual project that is involving working from home, or changing something in your home that is impacting in some sort of travel that you want to take. But this is very connected. These areas are extremely connected. If your rising sign is Gemini, the transit of the Sun and the solar eclipse are taking place in the 11th house, house of income, recognition, networking, projects, friends. that area will be very present during this time. And then the lunar eclipse is happening in the 5th house, house of dharma, children, investments, advice. So be very aware of this. And then the sun is ruling your 3rd house of communication and information, traveling, movement, brothers, sisters, siblings overall. For Cancer rising sign, the solar eclipse and the transit of the sun is happening in the 10th house, the house of profession, recognition, social influence, the impact you have on society. This is very, very powerful for you. And then the lunar eclipse is happening in the 4th house. Something may change at work that will impact on at home, or something may change at home that is impacting in your profession. Maybe you're changing your job and you can allow yourself to rent a better place, or to buy your home, or buy a car or a motorcycle or any sort of vehicle, or to invest in real estate, or something is changing with your mother, your family. At home, something is changing definitely at home and at work. Some movement there. Then the sun is ruling the 2nd house of finances, self-expression, family, stability, security. So that is very connected with profession as well. If your rising sign or Lagna sign, it's Leo, for you it's happening the transit of the sun and the solar eclipse in the 9th house, house of guru, father, religion, ethical and moral belief and values. It has to do with higher education, adventure. So now it's a very, very important time, because this is we are talking about the ruler of the controller of your rising sign, that is the ruler of the whole chart. For you will impact you the most. Be aware of that. And then the lunar eclipse is happening in the 3rd house of communication, siblings, information, traveling, short trips mostly. So yeah, keep this in mind. Many changes in your path of life, in your purpose, in your vitality, in your physical appearance overall. If your rising sign or Lagna is Virgo, this is happening the transit of the sun and solar eclipse in the 8th house, house of mystery, transformation, revealing secrets, hidden information, hidden talents, yoga, mysticism, death, rebirth, transformation again. So a lot of transformation for you for sure. And the sun is the ruler of your 12th house, house of foreign lands, losses, deprivation of freedom, liberty, or traveling, spirituality, insights, intuition, connection with the divine, creativity, nature. I think you will enter in a very spiritual, mystical month of the year for you, and you definitely will receive some very, very interesting and deep insights about life overall. And then the lunar eclipse will happen in your 2nd house of finances, stability, security, family, self-expression, income, money overall. For Libra rising sign, the transit of the sun, solar eclipse is happening in the 7th house of relationships, businesses, business partners, profession, overall happiness as well, connection with society, social projection. And the sun is the ruler of your 11th house, house of income, recognition, projects. So I see some changes, some new projects may come to you, or you are already working in new projects, and now is a time to put some extra energy there so you can accomplish what you are thinking about. And the lunar eclipse will happen in the 1st house in your rising sign, so it will be very powerful for you. Something is changing in your direction of life, in your purpose, in your vitality, in your expression in general, and in your health. So if you are doing things right, you are eating properly, training, this is the beginning of something very, very good for you. For the Scorpio rising sign, this is happening in the 6th house, house of enemies. The effort that we put at work, the organization, discipline. It has to do with health and disease. If you try this month to be more organized, take care of your diets, health habits, daily routine, to do not burn yourself out, this is a very, very powerful transit of the sun. With eclipse, you need to take care of your health a little bit, nothing too crazy, but your enemies may become very strong during this period, bringing you some challenges that when you transcend them, that when you go over this situation, let's say, these challenges, you will get way stronger and more fitting for whatever life has in storage for you, positively speaking. The sun is the ruler of your 10th house of profession, so profession is very present for you, social connection with others, and yeah, whatever you study, that will be very present, or you are doing it at your work. And then the lunar eclipse is happening in your 12th house, house of mysticism, spirituality, foreign lands. It has to do with past lives, karma, society, so that also be mindful of. If your rising sign is Sagittarius, this transit of the sun and the solar eclipse will take place in the 5th house, a very auspicious house, dharma house, related to children, investments, giving advice, receiving advice, romance. If you're not planning to have children, be very careful. If you have children, take care of them a little bit extra. Perhaps they are bringing some new energies, or they are starting new activities, or they require more of your attention for one or another reason. The sun is the ruler of your 9th house, very auspicious house, guru, dharma, purpose in life, more clarity, more spiritual insights, very good. And then the lunar eclipse is taking place in the 11th house, networking, income, recognition. Something is cooking there. Some recognition may come to you for something that you have been doing, and that is because Ketu is there, some sort of ending of a cycle and starting a new one. So I feel this will be a life-changing situation, perhaps. You let me know in the comments if it's happening to you, Sagittarius. For you, Capricorn rising sign, this is happening in the 4th house, house of home, mother, your house, vehicles, property, real estate, your emotions, your unconscious mind, the sleeping states. So all these things are very, very important during this period. And then the lunar eclipse will take place in the 10th house, house of profession, of work, social connection, social recognition, projection. Both areas will be very active. The sun is ruling your 8th house, house of transformation. Something is dying, something is taking birth, so be very mindful of that. You will have extra intuition for sure, and moksha is very present. If you are Aquarius rising sign, the transit of the sun and the solar eclipse will take place in the 3rd house, house of communication, siblings, short trips, traveling, information, exchange of data. Some interesting information will come to you that for sure you need it for some reason. The sun is ruling your 7th house, house of partnerships, business partnerships, social projections, social connections, professions as well, information, relationships, partnerships. Something is cooking there, some exchange of information with partners perhaps. And the lunar eclipse will take place in the 9th house of guru, father, spirituality, moral and ethic values. So this is very, very important as well. And if you are Pisces rising sign, for you the eclipse and transit of the sun is taking place in the 2nd house of finances, security, stability, family, expression, as well has to do with your beliefs. So this is a moment of pay attention to this area of life. The sun is ruling your 6th house of enemies, disease, health, routine, daily habits, try to improve your diet, your daily habits, and everything will go very, very well. Be careful of investments, finances, as well as self-expression. The lunar eclipse is taking place in the 8th house, house of transformation, mystery, hidden secrets, and hidden talents. Be aware of this area. Something will definitely come to you, new information about yourself, someone important in your life. Something is dying, something is taking birth, some transformation, some rebirth is happening. Definitely for good, always as usual. Accept, don't resist, and everything will be just fine. Overall, making a resume, we definitely need to use this energy to set new intentions, be very mindful of the period of Mercury retrograde and the eclipses. Don't take any important decision during those days unless it's the only option, and if it is the only option, try to chant some mantras to Ganesha before, to the sun god, Surya, Deva, and definitely do some yogasanas daily, as early as you can. Do the dinacharya, the morning routine of Ayurveda, and improve your health through conscious and healthy eating, and start to do some physical activities. This will be very, very positive for you. If you were born between the 14th of April and the 15th of May, happy birthday, happy incarnation celebration to you. May you and everyone else find a very blessed and beautiful and amazing, prosperous and abundant, wise, full of blessings solar year for everyone. If you made it so far, thank you so much for accompanying me in this video. If you are not subscribed yet, I will appreciate a lot that you can subscribe and leave me a comment. What do you think about this content? If you like it, what do you want to see in the channel next? In the meantime, thank you so much. Namaste, Sri Guruvyo Namaha, Harihi Om Tat Sat, Om Namah Shivaya.